Good morning. It's hump day. We have made it halfway through another week, man. This year is blowing by. Can you believe that in just a little over a week, it's going to be September? That is my favorite time of year, the burr months. I really do. I love the burr months. Fall is by far my favorite time of year. The food, everything. But look, I want to start out with an apology. I know I look a little scruffy. I am contemplating growing the Santa beard back one last time. One last Christmas with a full blown on Santa beard, which means I got to start growing it now if it's going to be, the real deal, So, um, y'all let me know what you think. Let me know if you think I ought to do it. If y'all hate it, I won't. But I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. Let's get to work. Let's do this. Let's dive in. We got a lot to talk about today. Good morning, everybody. Hope your coffee's as good as mine. Hell, I hope it's better. I really do. Got to get it by my face so the camera recognizes it. Hope your coffee's as good as mine. Hell, I hope it's better. I really do. I hope you're having a good cup of coffee today. We got to talk about some stuff, man. And some of it's just going to straight up piss you off. It is. Some of it's going to worry you. Some of it's going to make you happy. Some of it's going to stick in there. It's going to be a roller coaster ride today. It is. I promise you. So let's start with something that'll make you smile. It'll make you smile. It will. It will. I know you don't want the country to fail, and I know that you don't really like the fact that we have a failure of a president, but it does make me feel better as a human being to see this because these numbers, that 33% approval rating involves people that don't pay any attention to politics whatsoever. That means his core supporters. I'm talking about the mirror image of you folks. I'm talking about awful people. I'm talking about people that are paying attention to what's going on in politics and still support this sumbitch. His core support is down in the low 20s now. That's what that number means. That's what that number means. Whenever you see an approval rating, you do. You've just got a whole segment of people that are just that they don't pay attention to politics. They don't, yeah, sure, yeah, I guess so. Things seem to be going okay around here. Yeah, fine. Yeah, I'd support the guy. But I hear you. Oh yeah, I hear you. I'm with you. 20% is too high. There is no one of any decency that would be supporting this person. But that's a perfect segue to this. I keep telling you, I talk to these people. They are around here. I know them personally. And I saw this on social media and I was like, this is the perfect example. When I tell you people who these folks are, it's this guy. It is this guy. I mean, this is just the perfect example of what I'm talking about. It's this guy. This is the guy that's insulting you on social media. This is the guy that thinks he understands geopolitical politics. This is the guy that tells you you have Trump derangement syndrome. I'm not even kidding. Oh no, that is not Cletus. That is not Cletus. That is not Cletus. No, Cletus is a dumb hillbilly boy. This guy right here is in between meth trips or something, man. Look at the look on his face. I mean, this, by the way, this is not AI. This is real and recent. With things going the way they're going, this guy went and got Trump tattooed on his forehead. So you need to remember when we're talking about, you hear people talk about reaching out and convincing people and yada yada. And I get my knuckles wrapped because I'm like, no, we're not wasting an ounce of time. That guy is not an aberration. That guy is not the fringe of MAGA. He is the core of it. Yeah. Just keep him. We're going to keep him. We're going to come back to him several times today. Look, there's a lot of things not going Trump's way right now. There are a lot of things that are not going our way. When I say not going Trump's way, I mean the country's in trouble. The country's hurting. Trump can't sell bullshit. Reality is coming home. Pain is a clarifier. And folks, this is pain. This is pain for our fellow Americans. Look, I don't want to get into your personal business. I don't want to get into your personal business. But if you're willing to share it, any of you out there carrying credit card debt? Now remember, this is a roundtable. You'll see me, if you're watching this on replay, this is a roundtable show. I interact with the live audience. That's why you need to be in the live audience. We have conversations. Are any of you right now carrying any credit card debt? It's not, there's nothing wrong with it. It's very common in our country. It is. It is very common. And don't think of it as anything to be ashamed of. A lot of people are like, no, hell no. Yeah, see, that's me. I carry no variable interest debt ever. Mainly for this. These bonds exploding, yeah, they're going to make debt really expensive. And not just for credit card. I'm talking for everybody at every aspect. I'm talking mortgages. I'm talking car loans. I'm talking even people that don't have variable interest debt. If you're talking about going into debt, this is going to make it more expensive. Now think about what that does to the economy. I mean, think about that. When you go to buy a car, you never answer that question. Well, what payment are you looking for? If you don't know not to answer that question, you need to watch some primer videos on YouTube before you go buy a car. Never answer that question. The answer to that question is, I'm really more concerned about the price of the car than I am the payment. That's the right answer to that. But look, when you're all said and done and you negotiate the price of the car, unless you're writing a check, and I knew a brilliant lady when I was young and very stupid about finances and very stupid with my finances. There was a really wonderful lady, Marie. She was wonderful. She was. She was my brother's mother-in-law. She was a wonderfully sweet woman. And she sat me down and she talked to me. She said, Paul, do not take on debt. Do not do it. She said, my husband taught me. She was very old school lady. She attributed her knowledge to her husband, even though she was probably much smarter than he was. He was a bright guy. Don't get me wrong. He was, but yeah. She's like, do not take on debt. This is what I did. Said, I lived with an old beat up car and saved money. until I could buy a car. And I buy a car, and then I make payments to myself on that car as part of my monthly budget. I take money. I have an account set up for a car fund, and I make payments to myself. And every 2 years, I take that car down because I'm an old lady and I can't afford to fix cars and I can't afford to be stuck out on the side of the road. I buy a new car every 2 years. But I make a payment to cover the depreciation of that car to myself. And every 2 years, I go write a check and I buy a new car. So that's the position you want to be in. And where I'm going with this is, if you talk to anybody that is secure, you go to anybody, I'm not talking rich. I know a lot of really good people that run businesses. I mean, you would think they're rich. They're not rich. They're not. They run businesses, but because they're so ethical in their businesses, they're not trying to make bank off everybody they do business with. So, yeah, I mean, they provide good services. They provide value. So, no, they're not getting rich, but they're stable. They can take a vacation. If you listen to these people, they will tell you the exact same thing. Debt is short term. If you cannot pay your debt off immediately, do not carry it. I know a guy that has to buy heavy equipment. He does the same thing. If he buys a new piece of equipment, if he cannot immediately put 6 months worth of payments on that equipment in a bank account, he cannot afford that equipment. He cannot. I mean, there are strategies. There are. But the bottom line is, most of us ain't there. Most of us aren't. Some of us are. Some of us are near the end of that race we're running and called life. And we've been smart and we've gotten into a comfortable place. But most of us are not there. Most of us are living paycheck to paycheck. And that paycheck to paycheck ain't making it anymore with Trump's inflation. So they're living on credit cards. And this, folks, this is going to be pain for those people. It is. It is going to be pain for those people. It also means, very much so, going forward, everything I've been warning you about. Everything I've been warning you about. And I have to tell you, I'm going to just pause for a second. I'm going to say the articles being written about this are nauseating. They are nauseating. The gist of them is, yeah, this is a red flag, but how bad is it really? I mean, it's nauseating. It is. But what is going on is people are taking a look at our $40 trillion in debt, and we are $40 trillion in debt, mostly thanks to Trump and Reagan and trickle down and piss poor policy. They are not going to come to you and say, our bad, our bad. That was bad policy on our part. No, they're going to say, you're too expensive. You want entitlements because you're entitled. We got to cut your benefits because you just want to live off the government. And by the way, them welfare's people are taking all the money, all your money. Them welfare's people took it. Yeah, them welfare and immigrants, they took all your money, even though immigrants don't qualify for welfare or anything like that. Yeah, but that is what they're going to say, because they're not going to say, wow, our policy really sucked. We shouldn't have done that. No, they're going to take their bigot base. They're going to take this guy who they have told this guy believes that he is savvy. This guy believes that he understands geopolitical politics. This guy believes he understands finances. This guy believes he understands how government operates. when he doesn't know shit. He doesn't know shit. But he knows he don't like brown people. So they're going to tell him. They're going to tell him. The online conversation about it, Courtney, he was thanking the tattoo parlor that gave it to him, and the tattoo parlor responded, "Yeah, I don't believe that's AI. I do not believe it's fake." But yeah, that guy is going to believe it. They're going to tell him what his worst nightmares are. That somebody come over here and took his cookie. Somebody come on over here and took his money. All them hard taxes he been paying when he don't pay much in taxes. But hey, percentage-wise, it's a lot to him. Took all that money. It wasn't the broligarchs that have been doing things like, tariffs to try to pass their tax burden onto this dipshit and everything that he buys so that they can get more tax cuts in their big, ugly bill. No, it wasn't the broligarchs. No, it wasn't, what is it? 45 years to trickle down economics now. Wasn't shipping jobs overseas because unions is communism. Yeah, them unions are communism. They're communism. Can't even say communism. Communism. That's what's coming your way, folks. It is. That is what's coming your way from the Republican Party. We are about to say, with bond yields skyrocketing and our apparent inability to stop it, yeah, you're about to hear conversations coming out of the Republican Party saying, you're too expensive. And as soon as the midterms are over, Granny's a freeloader. Granny and her Social Security and her Medicare, she's a freeloader. You don't want that, do you? You don't want to be a freeloader. We'll take it away from you. Granny can keep hers. Granny can keep hers because she's going to die soon. But you know what? You don't want that because you're not a freeloader. It's coming. I will sit here in a matter of weeks in the fall session after November, going into the next year, and I will be pulling up headlines for you where Republicans are telling you, damn Medicare just costs too much. Them Democrats, they just want to tax you. They're talking about taxing you. When the Democrats are talking about taxing billionaires, this dumbass isn't high enough in the tax brackets to actually be caught up in any bill that the Democrats are proposing. But they're going to tell him, the Democrats, they just want to tax you. They want to take your money and give it to illegal immigrants. When we're really trying to tax the broligarchs for a change. The ones that are becoming trillionaires. Yeah, we had a trillionaire now. Remember that? They're getting richer and richer and richer and richer and richer. But the moment we try to tax them, they're going to run to this dipshit. Them Democrats are trying to tax you, trying to take your money. Give it to them immigrants. That's what they're going to do. It's coming. It's coming. In the meantime, this idiot needs a distraction because them poll numbers are in the toilet and things in Iran are not going so well. Everything that we said that was going to happen about oil supplies and fuel prices and what it's doing to the economy and everybody, even CNBC, even Fox News is coming out and telling people it's going to be a while. Yeah, this inflation, it's systemic. It's systemic. It's difficult to deal with systemic. That's the new word, systemic. So it's going to be a while, just trust me. It's Biden's fault. It's all Biden's fault. Just trust me. It's systemic. They are really, really, really needing a distraction. Somebody to blame. So yeah, Trump did this, and it just why this was not like a needle scratching across a record and everything coming to an immediate halt. The entire country collectively saying, what? I don't know. It made the news, but this isn't what anybody's talking about. It's just not. It disappeared like a fart in a hurricane. He said it, and whew, it's gone. We're all talking about something else. Yeah, and he doubled down, folks. He doubled down.
It's happened, unfortunately, to the world, you could say. Yeah.
So you mentioned on Oman this morning. This morning you said you would bomb the S out of Oman if they got in the way of reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Would you say you're out of patience with Oman, a strategic partner?
No, I don't think they behave.
Now, let this through the lens of bonds or yields are skyrocketing because nobody wants to buy our frickin' debt. Our military is broken. We're out of munitions. I just had a conversation with a congressperson. And it was off the record. I will not name this person. I was given permission to talk about this subject. But they just got back from the Navy Yard. And they're worried. They're worried. The ships that make up the infrastructure of our Navy, I'm not talking about we went and built a fancy new ship. We built a fancy new carrier. No, I'm talking about the ships that make up the bulk of our Navy, that make it function. The admirals are screaming to anybody that will listen. They're old. They were like, Paul, I was at the shipyard. I didn't see a ship that was younger than 30 years old. That's going on. Meanwhile, our bonds yields are through the roof. Debt's getting more expensive. You know what that means, right? I mean, when bond yields go up, debt becomes a bigger part of the pie, which means there's less money to spend on everything else. And that everything else includes a naval fleet that is older than your kids. I mean, I don't want to spend a bunch of money on defense. I don't think you do. But I also don't like the sound of that. Sounds like a problem that's going to need some smart people to look at. And these people running this country aren't smart people. They're not. They're not. We've got a situation. What he's talking about with Oman, what triggered this is, I told you, the entire world knows this shit cannot continue. It can't. It is choking the entire global economy. It is. Iran knows it. Iran knows they're sitting pretty. Iran knows that, yes, there's been massive destruction in their country because Trump had a temper tantrum because his poll numbers were in the shitter. He was in trouble about the Epstein files. So him and Benjamin Netanyahu decided to create, this idiotic war that we're in so that Netanyahu could grab some land and save his ass in Israel because he was in trouble there too. Because remember, peace breaks out in Israel, Netanyahu goes to jail. Yeah. I mean, he's a sociopath and a criminal. He is. He knows. War ends, Netanyahu goes. But the entire world knows this cannot continue, including Iran. Iran knows that. Oman knows that. The country across the way, Strait of Hormuz, there's two banks. One bank is Iran, the other bank is Oman. And Oman and Iran made a deal. So yeah, we're gonna open this shit up. We're gonna get some shipping going. And Iran's like, well, we're gonna get paid. We're not just gonna open this shit up. We're gonna get paid. I got some shit to rebuild. This wasn't my fault. I didn't start it. I'm getting paid. And Oman said, getting paid don't sound bad. And they made a deal. And all of this is blowing up and makes Trump look like the frickin' idiot he is. All of it is just coming home to roost. I got to catch up on these comments. Stick with me, folks. We've got this is going somewhere, but I don't want to get too far behind on your comments because I want them to be relevant to what we're talking about. Mike Daly, the Dim. Good morning, brother. Ads in Ohio for Ramaswampy and Husted lie outright about their opponents. And some Dims are telling phone bankers, I can't vote Dim because of AIPAC. That's after we get the majority, motherfuckers. Damn it. I hear you. Kyra loves Michael. I vote yes on the Santa Beard. Thank you. I appreciate you. Boulder Crypto Sissy Dragon. Now that is a name, my friend. Boulder Crypto Sissy Dragon. I never watch your videos to watch your face. Okay. Well, you should because I'm pretty. Thank you very much. D-Jack. Texas Paul, the heart condition you spoke about, I believe, killed Hayden Panettiere and her brother. Could it be? No. I had a very, very. I had the rarest of unicorns. I didn't have a heart condition at all. Actually, not true. Just so I can clarify, I did not have clogged heart arteries. I didn't have hardening of the arteries. I didn't have none of that shit. Valves are doing great. Everything. They went through my heart, one end or the other, especially afterwards. There is a virus that's in all of us. It is in you right now. It is. For some reason, the chemistry in my body tripped this virus off, and it went freaking nuts. It did. And it caused fluid to build up on my heart, and it caused the not the myocardium, the pericardium to swell, which made it really hard for my heart to beat. Now, I didn't know any of this was going on. My body didn't react to that virus. I didn't have fevers. It just went nuts. Well, my heart started to swell because it's like any other muscle that's working out continuously. It got bigger and bigger and bigger. And all of a sudden, holy shit, not only do I have fluid on my heart, I've got a swollen pericardium, but my heart is now getting bigger and bigger and bigger, which caused me to have something that felt like a heart attack. And I ended up they figured out what it was. They treated me, put me on a massive diuretic to get rid of the fluid that had built up around my heart. My body dealt with the infection. And afterwards, because they were worried. So look, man, when we relieve the pressure, your heart's going to go back down. It's going to shrink. It's not going to work as hard. It's going to shrink. It's going to be okay. But when it swells like that, sometimes you might have a problem with a heart valve afterwards. We're going to have to monitor that. And we did. And I did everything I was supposed to do. Everything. Perfect. Valves are good. Arteries are good. Flow is good. Everything is good. Like I said, rare unicorn. Was not a heart attack. It was an infection. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's what killed Hayden Panettiere. I don't. I really don't. I don't know what it was. I can't stand how the media tries to normalize his insanity. Just look at Randy Fine going into mailboxes when that is very illegal. Yeah. If you don't know, this is really happening, folks. This is really happening. Let me see if I can find it on Blue Sky so I can have a decent player. Randy Fine. This is what he's talking about. Let's see if I can find a video of it. Yep. Hoodlum. He's one of the people I like to follow this guy. He's a hellraiser. He is. Yeah, this is old Randy Fine, Republican Randy Fine. Watch what he does here. Anybody looking? Nope. Look at all that mail. Make sure nobody sent him anything that's from my opponent. Yeah, this dude is just rifling through some stranger's mailbox. And yeah, that is a crime. That is a crime. Is he going to get prosecuted for it? No. Republicans don't prosecute Republicans. No. Folks, there are 3 judicial systems. People say there's 2 judicial systems, one for poor folks and one for the rich folks. And no, there's 3. There's poor folks, there's rich folks, and there's Republicans. The Republicans, you don't even get through the door. No, they're not going to prosecute him. Thank you. Good segue for that, Skeets. I love that y'all are so well plugged in. If you got it, flaunt it. You know, no decent women would date this idiot. Yep. Richard, thank you for speaking out. You're not talking about me, are you? Oh, no, you're talking about the MAGA idiot. I'm like, hey, man, come on. Agent Cajun John, man. We should have a Santa Beard challenge and post images in December. Man, you're on, brother. You're on. Let's do it. I'm going to grow it. Oh, shit, I can't. I forgot. I've got to make it. I've got appearances in September. I'm not chickening out, damn it. I've got shit on my schedule. I forgot. And I just remembered. No, shit. No Santa Beard. Steve Pift. I always think that face tattoos are stupid, but that fool took it to 11. Yeah. I hear you. Kismar. Thank you. They are a cult. Amen, brother. Have you ever seen anybody with a Biden tattoo on their forehead? Or a Harris tattoo or an Obama tattoo? No. Yeah, it's a freaking cult, man. Randy Ryder. Hey, Texas Speed. Not enough Epstein. Never letting it go, brother. Never. Ollie. Thanks, Texas Paul. You are navigator. Thank you. Thank you for the kind words. Richard. Thank you for being a member. Thank you for what you do for us. No, thank you, folks. Rich, thank you for being so generous and gifting the membership, sir. Chandra, John is working his ass off here in Georgia. We got some clips for you. We do. We got some Jon Ossoff coming up next. Skeets here. What are you talking about? And not carrying debt is the exact opposite of what the U.S. does. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Canyon Diva, grow the beard and make Christmas magical for it. I can't do it. I forgot. I got some appearances in September. It would just be like a November beard, which would be just, wouldn't be the full on. Skeets here, just like the 80s, we could easily see people walking out of their of their homes like in the early 80s when your mortgage was more than the value of your home. That happened in 2008 too. Skeets here, do a Google search and see that every time the Reds are in power, they do things to almost destroy the economy. Yeah, that's not hard information. Devil of Dallas, some Kyra loves Michael. MAGA are perpetual victims constantly. ET, that and you are defrauding the government with EBT, etc. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're going to hear it all. Rock and Ron, listening while I work. Bots and trolls are crazy in social media this week. They have gone insane. They have. They have. It shows you how much the Republican Party invests in bots. Jeremiah Hamilton. Who's more entitled than millionaires? Yeah, I hear you. ET. but they have no problem putting you in prison. Nope. Skeets there. Maybe the blue states should not fund the red states anymore and let them see what it is really like to be under Republican rule. Man, that would be great. Skeets there. It is not just Trump anymore. Flock and data centers are working overtime for our. You know what? I got a story on a flock camera today. I do. I got a flock camera story today. Stick with me. Wendy Bauman. I'm so tired of all the MAGA's name calling. Jeremy Breeden, MAGA act tough when actually they're the least educated, manipulated, bigoted morons who go through life scared as shit of literally everything. They cry about everything instead of taking a look at their failures in life. Yep. Blame somebody. That's the Republican Party secret sauce. They tell them that they're smart and moral and the core of the country, the backbone of the country. You're the only reason this country can exist. Man, there was a ad from Greg Abbott talking about Texas is rural Texas is Texas. You are what makes Texas what it is. When people think about Texas, they think about you. No, they don't. They don't think about poor ass people living in double wides. No, they do not. E.T., over the last 20 years, we spent our money on wars. Yep. Gail Brownell begs the question, where is defense money going? Yep. Richard, vote blue. Amen. Peter Campbell, thank you for gifting the memberships, Peter. Coco, thank you for gifting the memberships also. Coco G, thank you. George Leidenweber, thank you for supporting the show. Just a couple more. We're going to get back to work. Millennial David, I'm a young guy in great shape, and damn, pericarditis was scary when it happened to me. Also moving my donations from Alexander Vinman to Angie Nixon. Hey, man, I'm telling you, we gotta support our people. We do. Tube Kurt, use the beard at appearances. Explain why you scruffy. Dave Barone, thank you. Claris WD, technically there is 51 judicial systems, 1 federal and 50 state systems. My pre-law poli-sci shining through. I appreciate you, man. You know what I meant. Blue Lady, I was at Ossoff's rally in Columbus yesterday with guest Senator Mark Kelly and Honorable Gabby Giffords. Wow. I got a small clip from that. That was great. Jon Ossoff has got MAGA's hair on fire right now. He's got Trump in a panic. He really does. Don Huber, even Republican voters voted down the middle class sales tax in Missouri. They are hurting too. The governor vowed to propose it again. Yep. They can't. Look, man, it's the same damn shit every time. Republicans picking your pocket, Democrat, and then blaming Democrats saying all you care about's them brown people. It's the same shit. That story never changes. And this dumbass believes it every time he's heard it because it made him feel so good when they told him he was smart. This guy believes it every time he hears it. But look, yeah, Jon Ossoff. Let's do Jon Ossoff. I've got a couple clips for you. This one's a little over 2 minutes long, but it's a good one. I'm gonna play it anyways. He has been on fire in a couple different appearances. This is Jon Ossoff, man. He has MAGA, Fox, everybody in a full freak out mode. Stick with me. We're going to talk about it. It got ugly.
I've got 2 little girls at home. Eva's 4 and Lila's 1. And I'm so grateful to this country for the security and the opportunity it affords them. But this isn't the world I want to leave them. Soon enough, they'll learn there's now plastic in human blood and breast milk. That toxic forever chemicals are in half the country's drinking water. Eva loves animal documentaries, and she'll learn that the butterfly.
I'm going to pause this for just 1 second, and I do apologize for interrupting it. But, I want you to think about this. This is the Democratic Party. Abdul El-Sayed, Zoran Mamdani. This generation, we have turned the corner. These are the people. The old man in the room is Gavin Newsom. But think about the candidate quality. Think about the appeal. Think about it, just as we're listening to this.
Lies are dying off. She'll ask me why I allowed these things to happen. She'll learn about the nuclear weapons that still threaten annihilation. And when you step back and consider it, the situation is absurd. Tech titans dig bunkers and warn us the new intelligence they're training could lead to mass joblessness or human extinction, and our Congress debates ballrooms and youth sports. We've amassed enough firepower to end the world 1,000 times over, but we can't summon the will to guarantee health care and pre-K. I say all this to say that it's the crushing weakness of our politics against the unmet needs of our people and the massive stakes of our times that's shaking our faith in the future. But Atlanta, I refuse to leave my girls a world as dark and dangerous and cruel as this one threatens to become. See, when Eva... When Eva's old enough to ask me why I'd let this happen, I'm determined to answer truthfully that I didn't.
That was good, wasn't it? I mean, that was good. I mean, I am a huge fan of politics. So I'm telling you, I'm watching this and I'm like, ooh, that's the sauce right there. That's the sauce right there. I'm telling you, man, he is on fire. I mean, he's hitting all the notes, the delivery, the expressions, not just the message. You hear speeches with your eyes. And I'm telling you, he is killing it. Killing it. And believe me, that is not the end of it. That is not the end of it. Here we're talking about the event he did with Gabby Giffords. Yeah, he has been on fire. He has been on fire. I got another one here for you.
But I just want to close by assuring you of something. Every single day when I wake up, what my team and I think about is your families, your kids, your grandkids, their safety, their well-being, their opportunity, their happiness. I've got 2 little girls at home. Eva is 4. Lila is 1. They're the light of our lives. I know the same is true for you and your kids and your grandkids. And I do not want Eva and Lila to grow up in a world defined by the values of Donald J. Trump.
Amen. 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 There's a little bit more to that, of course, but yeah, you get the point. You get the point. You get the point. I mean, he was killing it. But those 2 clips, as good as they are not what has MAGA's hair on fire. They went into full freak out mode about this comment, about this segment of his speech right here. They went into full, absolute freak out mode.
And while the sailors on the Lincoln fight his war, while he fruitlessly drains our munitions and oil reserves, the president sleeps through his meetings. He golfs and trades stocks. See, he doesn't want to do the job. He wants to build his ballroom and travel with Natalie on their apparently defenseless flying palace gifted by the Emir of Qatar.
Boom. That has MAGA in a complete and utter panic because he hit, I mean, all the bases. He hit the problems that we're having with the Navy and our military, this stupid war, that Trump is hapless, that he has to be taken care of by diaper bag Barbie, that he's not really there. He doesn't really give a shit. Let me play it one more time. He delivers it so perfectly.
And while the sailors on the Lincoln fight his war, while he fruitlessly drains our munitions and oil reserves, the president sleeps through his meetings. He golfs and trades stocks. See, he doesn't want to do the job. He wants to build his ballroom and travel with Natalie on their apparently defenseless flying palace gifted by the Emir of Qatar.
Boom. Boom. And let me tell you something. They went nuts. Y'all know Steve Chung, right? Or is it, y'all know Steve Chung? He's the comms director at the White House. Oh, wait a minute. No, that's not Steve Chung. That's Odd Job from 007. I'm talking about Slob Job. I'm talking about Slob Job. I'm talking about this guy. This guy lost his mind so much. Slob Job here lost his mind so much that he went on. He is the comms director for the White House of the United States of America. And he called Jon Ossoff a cuck. Yeah. That guy called this guy a cuck. Called him Jerk Off John. Yeah, that fat slob piece of shit that is paid by you, collecting his government job, aka Timu Shamu. Yeah, that guy called Jon Ossoff a cuck. And he wasn't the only one, man. I got to tell you, all of MAGA lost their shit. Hit dog yelps. When he mentioned Natalie, he didn't even accuse them of having an affair. He said all he wants to do is travel with Natalie. He didn't even mention her last name. They knew exactly who he was talking about, and they all went to the affair. Mercedes Schlapp, Jack Posobiec, Megyn Kelly, and Scott Jennings, Kristen Davidson, Tim McLaughlin, and of course you got Steve Chung here, Gunther, whoever this freaking moron is, Newt Gingrich. All of them lost their freaking minds. And they're like, poor Natalie, look at the accusation that they're having an affair. And what's that going to do to poor Natalie? She's got to live with this. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. Because they wanted to ignore the first part of that accusation, that Trump is golfing while our Navy is broken. Broken. I mean, broken. They got us into a war, and our Navy is broken. This is the USS Benfoe. Its generator, it's a destroyer. It's in the South China Sea, and its generator took a shit. It sat for 4 days in the South China Sea with no power, no air conditioning, nothing to run water systems, nothing to run. Yeah. 4 days. You know how hot and humid it is in the South China Sea? Do you know what kind of hell those sailors went through? Shitting over the side of the rail. Pissing off the side of the ship. 4 days it sat out there in the South China Sea. So they want to talk about poor Natalie. Poor Natalie. How about our poor soldiers and sailors that are enduring this shit because of Trump's idiocy, and failure? Yeah, I got to tell you, the military is all they have left. They have lost the script on the economy, domestic policy, foreign policy. All they're holding on to is the military and the old fucks at the VFWs. And yeah, I called them old fucks. I've listened to the way they talk. They say a hell of a lot worse. And they can't stop guzzling wrinkly old orange balls. So yeah, I will be harsh about that crowd. So yeah, the comms director, slob job, Timu Shamu, the guy that you pay from our White House, called a sitting U.S. senator a jerk off and a cuck. That's what we're lowered to. Because they are in complete and utter panic about the fact that our military is broken, that we are running out of munitions, that we are up the creek without a paddle. Our bonds are, the yields on our bonds are exploding because nobody wants to buy them. We have to make, which doubles down on our debt problem. But poor Natalie, diaper bag Barbie, fuck Natalie Harp and her government job wiping ass. But hey, man, they got to give this fucking guy something to talk about. They do. They got to distract. They got to give this fucking guy something to talk about. They do. He's got to have something to talk about. So here we go. Malicious prosecution. I'm going to tell you right now, it is going to be my mission in life when we take the White House in 2028. I will make it my mission in life to make sure every single person that used Telegram, that use Signal, that use any other communications device to hide their communications gets prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. They're creating a false narrative. This is David Morans, by the way. He's in his late 70s. He's in his 70s. And yeah, he broke the rules. That famous lab in Wuhan, and I've talked to you about this before, they are studying zoonotic diseases all over the world because we know that's where the disasters are going to come from. We know this. It's not a guess. COVID is not a one-off. There will be diseases that are out there brewing in animals right now that are moving to mammals. Once they're in mammals, it is a short hop, skip, and a jump to humans. We know this is where they're going to come from. Every first world nation knows this. Every first world nation is participating in studying this. There is a nonprofit group called the Eco Alliance that gets government funding to fund this kind of research. And they were part of the Wuhan lab. They were funding the Wuhan lab. And they were trying desperately to get that funding back. In the middle of the COVID shitstorm, they lost their funding. We stopped looking at zoonotic diseases for the most part. But the Republicans need a made-up fucking fantasy. So this guy broke the rules. They broke the rules. He didn't use Signal. He didn't use Telegram. He didn't use Proton Mail or any of the shit that these fuckers in the White House and this administration are using right now. No, David Moran's used Gmail. Gmail. Didn't destroy the communications. He just used his personal Gmail when talking to Eco Alliance. Now, the story that Cletus is hearing, the story that your idiot, father-in-law, drunk-ass father-in-law and brother-in-law are hearing is that this guy was covering up the evidence. This guy was hiding it. We know them Chinamen hit us. They hit us with that COVID. It wasn't Trump's fault. It was the Chinamen. They hit us with COVID. There's nothing in this story that even remotely supports that. Nothing. This entire story is you had a group, a nonprofit group called Eco Alliance. And by the way, none of this involves Dr. Fauci. None of this involves Dr. Fauci. This guy was an advisor for Dr. Fauci. That was it. They were reaching out to him to try to get the funding restored so they could continue to study zoonotic diseases because the Trump administration was axing all of this funding, doing what the oligarchs want them to do. They're saying he was bribed to do this. Does anybody want to guess what the bribe was? What did Eco Alliance send David Morans that made him have a conversation with them? And no, it wasn't $50,000 in a kava bag, not even close. Like we see with ICE and nope, wasn't a job. Nope, not even close. Now we're getting close. They offered to take him to a nice restaurant, which they did not deliver on, and they sent him two mediocre bottles of wine, two $50 bottles of wine, $100 in red wine. That is what the Republicans, that is what that moron Rand Paul is claiming is this massive conspiracy because David Morans broke the rules and used his Gmail account to talk to Eco Alliance when he knew it was incredibly unpopular because Trump was attacking any funding. He talked to them about trying to get their funding restored. He talked to them about maybe taking it to Anthony Fauci at some point. And now it's a big conspiracy. It's a big conspiracy. And this guy is now a virologist and an expert on the weaponization and global geopolitical warfare and all that other shit. This guy's just the expert in it, and he was right. And the Chinaman hit us. The Chinaman hit us. The Chinaman hit us. I wish I was joking. I wish I was joking. That is really, really what the Republicans are doing right now. That's really what Rand Paul is doing. You remember when all y'all people were talking about Rand Paul so nice because he said a few nasty things about Trump? Yeah, that fucking guy. He's doing that for the midterm. Why am I telling you all this? Because your idiot MAGA relatives are going to come at you with this. They're going to come at you with this. No, it wasn't Telegram. No, it wasn't Signal. No, it wasn't Proton Mail. He used his personal Gmail account. No, it wasn't deleted. No, it wasn't deleted because they have copies of it. Rand Paul has copies of it. No, he wasn't bribed to hide that the Chinaman hit us with the Wuhan lab. No, that was not part of the discussion. No, it didn't involve Anthony Fauci at all. He's not listed in any of it. The only way his name comes up is in one email. Morans talks about, I'll take this to the boss, see if we can't get your funding back. Funding to study zoonotic diseases. That's what Eco Alliance does. No, they're not the boogeyman. No, they didn't conspire with China to try to unleash a virus on our country to make Trump look bad. No, they didn't do that. But that is all permeating through the right-wing sphere right now. It's the smoking gun. Wuhan. They did it. And this is what we got to deal with. This is what we've got to deal with. Instead of dealing with the reality of what is going on in our world. Let me catch up on these comments before I get too far behind. The Hen House, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a member. I appreciate you. MAGA is living indoctrination of generational Confederate mindset. I agree with you. They are broken people. ET, messaging people, affordability instead of culture wars, Citizens United instead of AIPAC. Are you ready to get involved? When we do the work, it gets done. Miguel Arson, tell us, in a special election, Democrats flipped a Pennsylvania state house seat in drumroll Butler County. I'm telling you, keep doing the work. Ignore the stupid. Don't let it take over. Don't let it fill the space. Don't. Keep hammering away. Our Navy is broken. Our munitions stockpiles are empty, and they do not want to go to Congress for the money before the midterm. They're leaving our military with their asses swinging in the wind. Their foreign policy is so terrible that Oman and Iran are making deals on their own. George Lynon Weber and James Tallarico. Amen. Amen. ET, that is messaging, people. Yep. Ossoff gives me chills. Love that guy. Glad to see you here, Kyra. Thank you. Jamie Mason, new member. Glad to have you. Donald Thompson are going to be talking about the Florida primary results. Not today. ET, and it is not like any other job. You just can't quit. We are going to talk about them on Friday, but not today. Motocool, does Fox orchestrate propaganda, or was it always someone above them? They've done this lockstep messaging coordination for decades across all media. One second. On that comment, just a reminder, the Republican strategists, activists, and all around dirtbag. Roger Ailes was the guy that ran Fox. That's why he laid the foundation for them to be as fucked up and broken as they are. Roger Ailes. Never forget. Never forget. ET and everyone worldwide is noticing the danger now. Yep. And hog breath is politicking, and our political and our military capabilities are going to shit. Bunch of clowns, pedos, and deviants. Yep. Melissa Grubb. Chung is the one who I believe assaulted one of the service members at Arlington Cemetery, trying to prevent the desecration by 47 using the service member's grave as a political photo op. Yep. Walking across them. Yep. One of the staffers out there, it was Chung that put his hands on him. Chandra Patton. Thank you, Mrs. Texas Paul and team Lewandowski and Chung. Thank you, Mrs. Texas Paul and team, for all you do. Thank you. Katie Dotson. What doesn't kill you mutates and tries again. Yep. Debbie Link. Welcome. Glad to see the members. Glenn, thank you for always being so generous and sharing those memberships. Thank you. ET messaging. If he wasn't such a bad leader, can't be made to look bad by that. But when the idiot does these things, hit them hard. Messaging. Amen. Art Vandelay. Will you do collabs with other creators? I do collabs with other creators. I do. Not all the time, but I do. Speaking of which, I've reached out to Abdullah El Sayed's campaign. If y'all want to help out there, mention in his social media post that he should come on Coffee with Texas Paul. You know, a lot of people that run these media, you know, they'll take one look at a guy like me and think, ooh, no. You know, I mean, you let him know it's a friendly audience. He needs to come. I've got Clayton Tucker's going to come on. Julie Johnson is going to come back on. You remember she just lost her primary. She's going to be leaving government. We're going to talk about what's next for her. She's coming back here to Texas to raise some hell. That's what she's doing. We've got several people coming in. And yes, we will be collaborating with some other creators. Folks, you remember when Republicans tried to pretend that they were law and order and about the Constitution and about what was right, and you can't have that oppressive government? You remember all that? That government oppression. Can't register your guns. You got to have your guns. Stop an oppressive government. Remember all that? Well, right now you've got Governor Greg Abbott. Well, you know what? Hold on. Let me introduce you to him first. This is Christian Castro. Looks like a nice guy, doesn't he? Looks like a nice freaking guy. Christian Castro was nice agent. And he and his buddies rolled up and tried to arrest Julio Cesar Sosa Solis. This is Julio Cesar Sosa Solis, who is here legally. Now, you remember that also, right? Before the election, when we were talking about immigration, we just want people to do it right. We just want people to do it legally. Well, that's what he did. He was here legally. But in all of the right-wing circles, they call him an illegal alien, which he was not. He was utilizing the system. He was doing just like they keep arresting people at courthouses and shit like that, throwing them in their concentration camps and deporting them without any due process. You remember when they used to worry about that shit, right? I mean, you remember when MAGA, cared about the law, and you got to get a warrant, and you got to, they were all these, hillbilly lawyers, that knew about the law and the Constitution, and they talked all that talk, right? Well, Julio Cesar Sosa Solis got shot by Christian Castro through a door. He got shot in the leg. He did. And then Christian Castro and his fellow ICE agents lied. They lied. They said Julio Cesar Sosa Solis and his friend attacked them with a shovel, a snow shovel, and a broom. They lied. They lied. Cameras are everywhere. Now, it didn't stop the system from, churning, Sosa Solis, trying to grind him up. He was arrested. He was charged with assaulting an officer. He was charged, all of it. Turns out it was a lie. All a lie. Charges had to be dismissed. They took him into custody anyways. And you imagine what that was like. Two things you do not want to be when you go into the system. And one is a child molester, and the other is having hurt a cop, attacked a cop. That is hard time. It is. And Julio Cesar Sosa Solis, he was locked up for a long time on false charges, on a lie. Now, if you were to go back to before Trump and you were to ask these same people that make up MAGA now, should a cop that lies and shoots someone that is here legally following the law, should that cop be prosecuted? Well, of course, no, they were always shit. They would say no. These are the people that still defend Derek Chauvin. Yeah. Yeah. They were shit then, they're shit now. But they would have pretended. They would have pretended. But no, they are what they are because my governor, see, Castro was arrested back in March. If they do not transfer him to Minnesota to start prosecution by next week, the state of Texas will release him. And my governor, Greg Abbott, is refusing to transfer him. Yeah, you heard that right. This ICE agent is caught lying, falsifying information. But that's how bigoted the Republican base is. That's who this fucking guy is. At his core, he doesn't care about the law. He doesn't care about what's right. He doesn't care about the Constitution. He doesn't care about an oppressive government. The government shot a man and lied to cover it up. And my governor is refusing to transfer that ICE agent to Minnesota to be held accountable for his action. He knows that if he can hold on to him for one more week, Castro will be released and he will disappear like a fart in a hurricane. He knows it. Keith Ellison is fighting his ass off. He is doing everything he can. He is suing my state in federal court. Thank God. to stop the release of Christian Castro and have to force Greg Abbott to extradite him so that he can stay on trial. That is where we're at, folks. That is where we're at. It means so much to be a bigot to these people that this guy who was following the law, who was here legally, can be shot by an officer who then lies about it to cover it up. Shot him through a door. Falsely arresting someone. And you have not just Cletus, not your piece of shit drunk brother-in-law, a Republican governor refusing to follow the law in the name of bigotry. In the name of bigotry. Because ICE are the heroes that are hurting them brown people. They want them hurt, man. And the right-wing echo chamber is servicing this. If you read anything about Julio Cesar Sosa Solis, man, he is a cartel terrorist. They all call him an illegal alien. He was not here illegally. He was not here illegally. He was participating in the system the way they claimed they wanted him to come. This is where we are, folks. This is where we are not the same. We are not the same. These are not decent people. These are bad people. And they're bankrupting your country. They're destroying your military. They're destroying your constitution. They have cultish fealty to a demented, disgusting, pedophilic piece of shit. And we're all that stands in between them and your children's future. That's it. It doesn't get much simpler than that. It just doesn't. Yeah, how could I forget? Adjudicated rapist. Yeah. I mean, this is where we're at, folks. This is what MAGA is. This is what your relatives are. This is what my relatives are. We've got to come to the understanding that that's who they are. And talking about worrying about oppressive government and all that shit, I got one more story. It's about flock cameras. I will tell you, I have evolved on this issue. Look, I'm not, I've always thought, cameras are a good thing. They are. Cameras are a good thing. They've been used to great success in other countries with the right oversight. I always felt like cameras are a good thing. I did. When you're in public, you have no expectation of privacy anyways. I got no problem with that. I don't. I have changed. I do not believe that anymore. I do not believe that our law enforcement agency, I think that so much of our population, I believe that so much on the right that makes up a disproportionate amount of our law enforcement are such broken people that we can't do that here. It will be abused. It just will be. It will be abused, misused. There will not be appropriate oversight. These are broken people. They are why we cannot have nice things. They are. Just one violation after another, after another, after another. Cops, chasing their ex-girlfriends, I mean, using the cameras to prosecute people that don't do anything illegally in their home state. But oh my God, they went and had edibles in Colorado. So we're going to track that person and we're going to pull them over when they get back to our state just to make sure they ain't got no edible, which is illegal as fucking hell. It is a violation of the Constitution, but there is no oversight. There is no oversight. They're a fascist, abusive police state. And they're dumb. It's about time we wrapped our head around just how incompetent and stupid these people are. Because tragedies are going to happen, and we really need competent people. We really need competent people. This is Jorge Salinas. Jorge was an assistant county administrator in Florida. And he was driving along I-4. This is I-4. Let me pull it up for you. This is I-4 in Florida. He and his wife were driving along on I-4. This is I-4. You see Daytona Beach here. This is the area. This is the county that up around Palatka. This is where Jorge Salinas is an administrator. He was in Volusia County at the time. He was down here in Volusia County, down here by Daytona Beach on I-4. It runs from Daytona Beach all the way to Tampa into St. Petersburg. If you can see, it bisects the state. That's I-4. This is Lindsay Brooke Isaacs. This is Lindsay Brooke Isaacs. She was also driving on I-4. She was also driving on I-4. When Jorge Salinas and his wife were killed, there was an accident. Someone drove into a vehicle, caused them to careen into one of the rails, back into traffic, crossing into the opposing lane, and they hit Jorge Salinas and his wife head on, killing them both. Here come the flock cameras. Did they capture the accident? No, they didn't. But they talked to people at the scene. And several people said the driver was driving a Durango. Same type of vehicle that Lindsay Brooke Isaacs was driving. Okay. So they went back to the flock cameras. Now, they had somebody at the scene that was a really good witness that gave them a partial plate, and they said it was a maroon Dodge Durango, late model, maroon Dodge Durango. By the way, there was a group of motorcycle riders as the Durango was careening off. One of those motorcycle riders was also killed. So, Florida Highway Patrol Sergeant Tiffany, I'm going to screw this name up, Tiffany Jadov, is doing an investigation. They went back and looked at the flock cameras, and they saw a Dodge Durango, a black Dodge Durango. Oh, we got our person. and they arrested Lindsay Brooke Isaacs for the murder, charged her with 8 felonies. Only it wasn't her. It wasn't her. She sat in jail for 8 days. They held her 2025 black Durango, which did not have damage on the front of it, for 8 months. They kept her car. And for 8 months, they left felony vehicular homicide charges hanging over her head while she's racking up legal bills. Because Sergeant Tiffany apparently is a fucking moron. Because Lindsay Isaacs passed through the flock camera 2 minutes before Jorge Salinas. And her Durango does not match the color of the Durango their witness at the scene, who gave them a partial plate, which ended up matching the correct Durango, that did have the damage on the front of it. They left charges sitting over Lindsay Isaacs for 8 months. They kept her in jail for more than a week. They held her car for 8 months. And they had the statement and the identification of the vehicle and the partial plate the day the accident happened. But they grabbed the wrong person. Was the other Durango also on the flock system? Yes. Yes, it was. But Tiffany, Sergeant Tiffany, had made an arrest. And nowhere in the information where she got her arrest warrant, presented the information to the judge, got her arrest warrant, was the testimony from the witness that gave him the description of the Durango that was another color, that had a different plate, partial plate. This one stinks to high heaven, folks, because it turns out the bikers, there was a biker that killed, and the person that was driving the Durango are actually associated. And nobody can explain why Alyssa Montalvo who did do this was not being investigated. Nobody can get Sergeant Tiffany or the Florida Highway Patrol to explain why, when you had a witness with a description of Alyssa Montalvo's vehicle with a partial plate match, she is also on the flock cameras at the appropriate time. She has a relationship with the bikers, one of which was killed when the vehicle went careening off the road and then shot back across the road. Nobody can explain why she got a pass. It was when Lindsay Isaacs' lawyer moved to file a civil suit that FHP went, oh, sorry, charges dropped. Prosecutor went, oh, sorry, charges dropped. Oh, we're not answering questions about that. We moved on. They had Lindsay Isaacs on a flock camera. She was there. She drove by, doing nothing wrong, following the law. She was on the flock camera. That's why I have changed my mind about cameras. I do not think that they are. This is at minimum. Sergeant Tiffany Jadoff is incompetent. At minimum. She had, the day the accident happened, she had that witness testimony. Identifying a vehicle. At worst, this is corruption and a cover-up. This is a violation of an innocent person's civil rights on so many levels. And they used the flock cameras as their excuse. They abused the flock cameras. And that's why I will tell you, with AI, the development of AI, and how it is evolving and becoming better and better and better. Do you realize that most of what you see now on social media is not real? Well, I mean, people say it's no, but no, they're not even human. Yeah, there will come a time when this platform no longer platforms me, because there's only so much space, and I will get replaced by one of Google's AI creations. I will. It's going to happen. Why would they pay me? Yes, I generate income from them. Yes, I generate ad revenue for them. But if they get an AI creation to do the same thing, they don't have to pay them their share. They don't have to do that anymore. And it's getting better and better and better. And they are striving to make it better and better and better, to make it harder and harder and harder for you to realize that the overwhelming majority of what you watch on social media now, from posts to videos to music to, isn't real. The tech bros are pushing this as hard as they possibly can. And we have a corrupt, broken law enforcement system that is full of the most bigoted, low character, immoral, disgusting, fucking MAGA trash making up so much of our law enforcement. And these two things are now married. What could go fucking wrong? How long do you think it will be before we catch them with completely AI generated fake evidence? I mean, they just locked a woman in jail, seized her vehicle, charged her with felonies. And they knew it was the wrong person. They knew. They had testimony that day. And again, that is at the best damn thing you can come up with is it was pure laziness and incompetence. No, I don't. I do not support cameras. I do not. I don't support public cameras at all. At all. I don't trust law enforcement anymore. And I grew up absolutely with cops in my family. No, I don't trust them to do the right. Are there good cops out there? Yes, there are. There are good people wearing uniforms. There are good special agents out there. There are good people. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not an ACAB kind of guy. I'm not. I'm just aware that this system is so full of shit that no, we desperately need the Constitution and limitations on government and power more than ever. And the Republicans, the bigots, the people that are more than happy to, not, an ICE agent has been arrested here in Texas, but we will not extradite him to Minnesota to face charges in a case in which he lied, and they know he lied. That's where we're at, folks. And they want tools and power? No, fuck no. They have radicalized me. I used to think that, oh no, law enforcement's generally good. Tools are a good thing. Cameras are a good thing. Daylight is a good thing. No, nope. Not anymore. I do not trust them. I don't. Well, you just want to support the criminal. No, nope. That ain't going to work either. All that shit is tired and old. And something else that is tired and old is this fucking guy, man. One more time. This is the fucking guy you're arguing with on social media. This is the fucking guy that thinks he's a virologist. This is the fucking guy that thinks he can tell you about which vaccinations to give your children. And when I say this fucking guy, I mean there are people like him everywhere. I live with these people. They think they understand geopolitical politics. They think they understand military tactics. They think they understand. We are not the same. We are not the same. We just aren't. And there's nothing, there's no middle ground there to be had. They wanted to be their worst versions of themselves and say there's not a damn thing you can do about it. Well, yeah, there is. And now you must reap the whirlwind. You showed us what you are. That is what you are forever. That's the consequences. Live with it. I am okay to live with what I've done and what I've said and what I believe and what I fought for. Judge me by that. By the way, I had some fucking asshole call me an anti-Semite the other day. Yeah. Super pissed off because I happened to point out that the intelligence that they used and overrode our own domestic intelligence agencies, that they went with the Mossad and what Israel told Trump about this attack, this imminent attack. Remember the plane where he got into the catering cart and all of that. I pointed out that originally came from Israel. Therefore, now I'm an anti-Semite who hates Jews. Obviously, a person that has never watched our show, ever. Yeah, be prepared. It's election time. It's going to get harsh. It's going to get ugly. The Republicans are not just going to roll over and lose. They're going to lie. The bots have gone insane. My Facebook feed is so full of right-wing fabricated, made up trash. They are terrified of James Tallarico. I see, made up shit about him, AI generated images of him just constantly on my feed. Constantly. The Republicans have gone all in on fiction. They have shit, and they just have. Be prepared. Be prepared. I will continue to do my job. I will continue to point this shit out. But yeah, let's do that. Let's do it. Blue Cat Dad, are you friends with Roland Martin? Collab ideas? No, I am not. I am not. ET, it is less than 11 weeks until the general election. Verify your voter registration and deadline dates. Know your early voting dates. Get involved. Amen, brother. Thank you for always being here with that message. Skeetsa, you need to do an entire show on what is happening in Mississippi, as it is bad as the 50s right now. I am telling you, there is so much to talk about, my brother. Please watch World War II docs to see how close the U.S. is to Germany 1933. History doesn't repeat, but it does rhyme. Steve Piff, please give us the source of Abbott protecting that POS ICE agent. You can Google it. You can Google it. It's not a hidden thing. It's not. Shifty Lincoln, ICE is the bane of my existence. I'm stuck in, literally, Minnesota is having to sue my governor to get him to hand this agent over. There are at least 24 news articles about that today. ICE is the bane of my existence. I'm stuck in the matrix. I was born in Biddeford and now live 30 minutes from the crime scenes here in Minnesota. Abbott is trying to buy for time so this agent can flee. Disgusting. It is disgusting. Skeet Sayer, do you understand what happened when the ICE agents were on TV for their crimes, but no one has been prosecuted, just like Epstein? Yep. We saw an American citizen on his hands and knees fucking executed. And no one's been held accountable. No one. DTQ, I wish we could force all of MAGA to watch Don't Be a Sucker. The comparison is uncanny. Yep. Yeah. George Leinenweber, thank you for supporting the show. Christopher Daly, Republican justice, jail him falsely or go on the lam. Colleen Sarrett, if you can, get a dash cam, more important than ever. I agree with you 100%. Protect yourself. If you can afford one, get a dash cam. Yeah, please, Paul, do not tell people the scrap value of flock. I absolutely, for absolutely no related reason whatsoever, would tell people that flock cameras are full of copper. Skeet Sayer, flock cameras are pure 1984 or Brave New World. There have been horror stories since the adoption of AI. It is not infallible. It is not. It is not. Mr. Knutson, thank you for being here. Abjor Knutson, what are the chances of Abbott being dethroned by Gina? It is and this breaks my heart to say this out loud, it is a 50-50 race right now. It should not be. It should not be. It should not be. But it's a 50-50 race right now. We're working our ass off to make it happen. Data centers and high gas and energy costs are very unpopular. Even farmers waking up. There's a video out there that, if I can find it, I'll bring it up in another show of MAGA proving to you exactly what I'm talking about. Standing at a gas pump, somebody asked him about it, and he's proud of Trump. Long as that border's closed, I don't care. I don't care how high gas prices get. And you can just see him turning red, man. He was ginger to begin with, but you can just see him turning just beet red. He is just, you can just see this guy. Yeah, he's exactly everything I'm telling you. What about the guy that lived in Georgia and was charged with a bank robbery in North Dakota? The feds even picked him up and spent weeks in jail. Yeah. There was a guy that rented a car, and the car was used in another crime by another driver. It's a rental car. They arrested a guy on nothing more than flock identification. It wasn't him. It was just a rental car. There's also a boat that was given $28,000 in tolls from crossing a bridge on the road. The police in the U.S. are the last people to get access to this. Most of them are scions of slave catchers. Like the videos of people saving dangerous predators and making you feel like it is real. Yeah, man, there's so much fake shit. And I'll tell you another one that just bugs the shit out of me. The "my wife is cheating" videos. You know that's all fake, right? It's the same fucking video over and over again. People are making. Somebody got like 1 million views off one where he caught his wife cheating. And now, to make money and get clicks, you get these people on Instagram that are literally making video after video of accusing their wives of cheating. It's all fake. You know that, right? It's literally the same video over and over, 2 different people. Yeah, we're in trouble, man. We're in trouble. We are in trouble. Dark Dragon the Guardian, not only is she a moron, she's also colorblind. Yeah. Skeet's here. We already get them during the World Cup. DHS released pure propaganda ads. Steve Piff, Florida is polluted with corruption. They are. DTQ, Deflock America, October 31st. Costumes, masks, crowds. Marie Crabtree, give Maya hugs and lots of love. I will. I'm having such a good time. She has, folks, she's gone from that cute little puppy stage, that cute little precious puppy stage, to the bigger, clumsy puppy stage. It was freaking hilarious. Oh my God, I was laughing so hard. So hard. Don't get mad at me for laughing about this, but it was so. She is just full of energy, man. And she, side of my house has a slope to it on one side. And she's running parallel to that slope. And her feet just got ahead of her. And she just tripped and tumbled end over end and then rolled down that slope. Does anybody else do this? When you see like an animal and they're just like, she gets to the bottom and she just lays there with her feet up in the air and just lay there. And I could just hear in the back of my head a narrative that said, well, fuck. Yeah, man, oh my God. It was hilarious. The poor thing, man. She tumbled just rolled all the way down that hill. Oh my God. She's in that clumsy stage. But she's getting highly protective. She has convinced me that there is a cabal of squirrels working with a cartel of deer. And she had a confrontation with a buck. There's a really nice buck. I hope he stays bedded down over there because the people around here will shoot him. They will. As soon as deer season's up, well, hell, they may not even wait for deer season. But there's an area, several areas on my property where it's completely forested. Deer can just disappear into it. I hope he stays here. But Maya's convinced that the squirrels and the deer are collaborating to murder us in our sleep. But she went off. She took off barking. They were at the edge of the tree line, and she took off barking at them and got about halfway between me and them. And the deer took off. She took off after them, running parallel to them. She didn't pursue. She ran parallel to them. And that buck turned around and stopped and snorted and started walking her direction. She looked like a little brown cannonball running. Dad, it's going to kill me. It was hilarious, man. It was hilarious. It really was. That buck was like, you got to be shitting me. That thing. Oh my God. She has been such a joy. She has. Thanks for the support. AK will appreciate you. Thank you. Deborah, thank you for the support. I'm truly grateful. Mike Daly, the Dim. It's not Mississippi, North Carolina, too. Yeah, it's everywhere. It is everywhere. I-4 is hell to get onto. I know. I live next to it from Universal Studios near Sand Lake Road. Yeah, you hear a lot about I-4. ET, please make sure that the first time Maya and Katz are crashing together, it gets posted online. That could be a while. They have decided that they do not like each other, and they are not going to make friends. They will coexist, but if Maya gets anywhere, I mean, if she gets within 5 feet, they start growling and she starts barking. I don't know how long it's going to take, if they're ever going to make peace, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, she's in that cute, clumsy puppy stage. She got smacked upside her head by, I thought it was going to be Rah-Rah, Gangsta Kitty. Oh no, she avoids her like the plague. It's Dolly Parton, Kitty Kitty. She has decided to venture out. She's like, I am not giving up. Malinois, not a Malamute. Malinois. She's decided she ain't giving up her house. She isn't doing it. And Maya's like, oh my God, if not friend, why friend shaped? And went and stuck her nose up there with her nose working. And Kitty smacked her upside her head, whack, hard enough. I heard it, man. Maya yelped and she's like backpedaling. What the hell is wrong with you? And Kitty's like, told you. Did not see that coming. I thought it was going to be Gangster Kitty that had the first comfort. No, it was Kitty Kitty. It was Dolly Parton. But to be fair, Kitty Kitty is sick of just about everybody's shit right now. She's had enough. She really is. She doesn't put up with rah-rah shit. For a while there, rah-rah was dominating Kitty Kitty. And Kitty was like, you're not worth the trouble. Oh, no. Oh, no. No. Kitty's like reestablished her dominance. Anyways, folks, that's what I have for you today. I hope it's been useful. I hope it gets you motivated. I hope it motivates you to get involved. Reach out to, hey, this is your job. Hit the thumbs up button. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. And when you're on social media, Abdul El-Sayed has been killing it. Watch his videos. Make a comment that he needs to come on Coffee with Texas Paul. I've reached out to the campaign. I will reach out to them again. Let's see if we can't get him to come. Let's see if we can't get Abdul El-Sayed on here. A little payback for supporting him in the primaries. Folks, on that note, enjoy some Texas cities at night.